Brendan Murphy's statement launching his campaign as an independent candidate for Macclesfield.
Thank you very much, James, and thank you, Sir David, for your generous comments. I feel like as if I'm having a first interviews for a job, and if I get 10 out of 10 at this stage, I'll then be going out to the main board out there for the final judgment. But actually, I'm not looking for a job. I don't need a job. What I need is a mission. Because like probably 90% of the population, as Sir David has just indicated, are totally disillusioned and dismayed by the way government is going in this country. And it was interesting listening to the Chilcot inquiry, where people were saying that the machinery of government, leading politicians were saying that the machinery of government in this country is breaking down. But what the catalyst that has brought me to decide to stand as an independent councillor in Macclesfield, I suppose, comes as a result of the conduct of the Conservative Party over the selection of their candidates. Now, I'm sure, I don't know David Rutley very well, but I have the highest regard for his credentials, and I think he's an honest and decent person. But I think the way that the party stepped in, Central Party stepped in and barred local candidates from being considered, I think is symptomatic of the way in this country political parties are, with the machines of political parties, are wielding too much power to the detriment of democracy. There was a time when we complained about trade unions not having openness, not having free elections, being run by officials. Well, that's what we now have with political parties, and I believe they are in fact a greater threat to democracy now than the trade unions ever were. And that, as I said, was where I was shocked to see the intervention of Central Office in the Macclesfield selection, and councillors people like Darrell Beckford and others who had sound credentials, and I think they were at least entitled to be considered. The other thing that bothers me is this presumption that Macclesfield is a safe seat, a safe Tory seat, and that is why Central Office wanted to make sure that one of their men were parachuted into the position. Well, as James pointed out, this is the first time we have a really open election in Macclesfield, because for the last 37 years, election after election, we've had the same person winning it. And Nicholas Winton, in my opinion, has been an exceptionally good constituency MP. He is a person who's actually sacrificed the prospects of a political career by putting his constituents first. And in that respect, I would certainly want to follow in his footsteps and follow his example. But in that respect only. There are other issues where I didn't entirely agree with Sir Nicholas, but credit where credit is due. But this mentality of the safe, and incidentally, when Sir Nicholas was first elected, his majority was 1,700. Of course, he's built up a huge public personal vote during the years because of his good work. And unfortunately for the Conservative Party, that personal vote goes with him when he goes. And that's why, as James said, it is now an open contest. People ask me whether I expect to win. It's not a case of whether I expect to win. I'm putting my name forward to liven up this debate, to give people a wider choice, because at the moment we have the three candidates, party candidates, are all singing from the same hymn sheet. Singing from the same hymn sheet on important issues like the Lisbon Treaty, like how to deal with the huge debts, the multi-trillion-pound debts that the country now has, and on other issues. An independent gives people that extra choice. I believe I have a track record which will stand up to scrutiny, that I have the skills and the experience to be able to do this job, and if it's not so much the result, whether I get elected or not is almost immaterial. It is, as Sir David said, if we can increase the turnout, if we can excite people to take an interest, and if we can give a lot of people, disillusioned people, the opportunity to vote because they have an independent they can vote for, then we will have achieved something, regardless of who wins. Thank you.
If you would like to help, please contact us at www.voteindependence.co.uk or call 01625 262 173.